today's video, and today we're going to be installing the headset and bottom bracket onto the Ragley Trig frame that I showed you in the last video. So this is a frame, it's mounted up now on a work stand, ready to go. I've just got a spare seat tube in there and saddle just to hold it in place, and a bit of protective foam, and I've put some bike frame protection stickers on here. I put the one that I got actually was a I think it was a large size kit, and it actually wraps right around the tube. You can still see a little bit of bubble in it, but once I get the hairdryer on that and I'll melt the glue and it should disappear. And also I've put it under there, stopping the stone chips. So let's crack on and I'll show you what I've got. So this is the tool I'm going to be using. It's a Lifeline headset press, and it's available through Chain Reaction Cycles or Wiggle, both our sister companies. It's about £52 I think, or £57. There's no instructions with it, just comes in a plain box, and there's not many instructional videos online, so we'll try and work that into it. It's got this alloy connection on the bottom here, and it's got a 3mm Allen key. When you loosen that, this actually moves off and you can take this entire bottom piece off. So we'll do that first and then work out what size we need on the bike. Right, so I've undone this Allen key bolt here, and that enables it to slide over. When it's undone properly, just slides over the end, don't lose that. And then this lot just slides off. And I think the general idea then is to put this down through the headset, work out how much space extra you need, and then mount this back on at the corresponding join here. You can see these like cutouts, so we'll do that. So what I'm going to do first is just apply some all-purpose grease to the steering tube. So I'm using this one, which is a Pt2 one. Obviously I'm not sponsored by any brands, but this is the one that I got again online. I have had some blue grease that I've had for about 20 years, and I've still got a part of a tube of it left, but I thought I'd treat myself with this one. So this is Pt2, the blue grease, all-purpose grease, high performance grease rather. So I'm going to put some of this on the inside of the steerer tube. You can see under there. So obviously I can't do this one-handed, so I'm going to put the camera down, grease it, and then we'll come back. Okay, this is a bit tricky. So what I've done is I've put the bottom cup on there and just offered it up through the frame, and you see the little screw at the bottom there, that stops that metal plate from sliding off. So I've loosened off the top of the bearing press here, just so there's about so much thread that I can tighten up. So what I'm going to do now, just take up the slack on it, and then we'll come back and do the final tightening. So what I'm going to do is I've taken up some of the slack there, and I've aligned the logo with the badge on the front as best I can. This is a 17mm spanner. I can't find a 16, this might be enough, but it's just to hold this bottom section, so it's just to stop it from spinning. And then I'm just going to gently sort of take up the slack and add pressure to these two, so it gently draws the cup in. And you can see that going nicely into place. Just keep giving it a spin. We might run out of thread, so I might have to just take some of these washers out at the top here. And I will say, while I'm tightening this up, in this cup I have removed the bearings and the bearing seals as well, so you're not crushing them with the press. Yeah, so I'm a couple of mils short there, so I'm going to take out one of these spacers and then just tighten it up, and then that bottom one should be done. So as you can see, that one, the bottom one, is now done. So I'm just going to repeat the process with the top one, and that should be just about done. Okay, just a bit of grease around the top. Don't have to go mad with it. It were pretty easy to get in the first cut, pressure wise. Obviously you might need another pair of hands if you've not got a support. You don't want to risk dropping your frame on the floor. You've got to take time with these things. It's not worth the rush, otherwise you get several hundred pounds of kit that's damaged on the floor. So I'm going to mount the headset press on now with the top cup and get it sort of reasonably tight, and then we'll do the process again. We'll be tightening it up fully, and you can see that. So as you can see now, it's sort of what you call finger tight really. Put the metal piece on at the bottom, left about so much thread at the top. Some of the spacing for these cutouts is a bit long, so I might have to tighten this as far as I can go and then remove it again and give it a bit more thread and then reapply it. So again, using the spanner just to support the lugs at the bottom, give it a little bit of pressure. So you just feel it there, it's just gone tight, so a bit of a turn and then loosened off at the bottom with the lugs, and we'll take that off and see if that's sat properly. So as you can see, that's sat nice and flush now. So we've not used any hammers, any blocks of wood. Like I say, it's about 50 odd pounds and you'd probably only use it once or twice, but it's worth it, I think. Peace of mind if you can afford it, just to get it and do it properly. Then you're not banging and braying, your frame's secure, it's not, you know, you're not resting on a piece of wood or anything like that, or a floor. You're not risking damaging your stuff. As you can see there, I hope you can see it on the video, that's a 3mm Allen nut there. Unscrew that, this then slides off over these large lugs here. You couldn't see that before, and obviously you move it up and down the corresponding ones depending on how long your steerer tube is. So all done. I'm going to put the bearings in and then we'll start looking at the bottom bracket. So I've got the fork roughly mounted. I've not cut it down yet, not cut the steerer down. I've still got to take the steering off the donor bike, the Topstone, but what I've done is I've mounted it on the floor stand and put the wheels on, just to give it a bit more stability while I mount the bottom bracket. So as you can see, that's where we are. So it's looking like a bike, sort of. Obviously I've not torqued up the axles yet because they're going to be coming off anytime soon when I start putting the brakes on, etc. But what I have done is taken the bottom bracket off the donor bike. So it's a Tiagra Pt2 bracket. So this is the drive side. So I'll give it a rough clean down. Got some of the old grease. I've just got to clean these caps up, seals up rather, and it's pretty much ready to go. So let's put that in. Right, so I'm hoping you can see this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some grease on these caps. So I'll start with the drive side first. And just put a bit of grease on the thread. You don't need masses of it, to be fair. I mean, I took this one off a few minutes ago and it's been on the bike for nearly 2.5 years, and it's probably done a couple of thousand miles, and it wasn't much different to this, to be honest. So the drive side one screws on clockwise, so just gently find the thread. So what you don't want to do is cross thread it and knacker the bottom bracket. For those that spotted the deliberate mistake, to tighten it, there is arrows. I don't know if you can see them on there that says tighten. So that was my deliberate mistake for the day. So just gently find the thread, and that's going in nicely. So I'm just going to finger tighten that one, and then we'll go around it with the wrench. Okay, and then the next one, so this is non-drive, the bit that's got the sort of axle cover in it. Again, just round the threads, just to give it a bit of lubrication, and also importantly so, because a lot of bikes now, components are made up from different metals, and you do get sometimes a little bit of chemical binding where metals react to each other, so it's always best to put a bit of grease on. So again, on this one, just looking at it, to tighten, you would be clockwise from the other side. And now with the spanner, now really you should support this bike, and I'm a bit conscious of the fact that it's not all screwed together, so I'm not going to put too much pressure on it at the moment. I might wait till it's fully assembled, but at least get it roughly on. But this is the Pt2 BBT9, which goes around these cups. You can get different brands. I got this Pt2 one. It wasn't massively expensive. Some of their stuff is quite pricey, but I wanted something that's going to last really, just in case I'm taking stuff on and off. So I'm going to tighten these up. Like I say, tighten, it just goes on there. And I think the torque for these is about, I'm guessing, I think 40 Newton meters, but as I've not got a torque wrench that goes up to that much, I think it's classed as really, really tight. But yeah, we'll come back to it in a minute. So I've started tightening this up now, and that is tight-ish. I'll do the other side as well. Just got to be careful at this stage that you don't want to sort of slip and mark the frame. So I'm just doing it really carefully. There's absolutely no rush. That's as tight as I can do that hand tight. Like I say, it's supposed to be 40 Newton meters, I think. I'm just going to brace myself for this seat tube. For that one, I think. So thanks for watching. That's the headset, cups installed and bearings, and also the bottom bracket. If you've got any questions, just stick them in the comments section. Please like and subscribe, share it with your friends, etc. I will do more videos, and I'll try and keep them short and to specific things as well. I think the next one I'm going to do is probably cutting this steerer tube down. So I've got a cutting guide on order for that, which should be coming today. And it's a carbon steerer. I'm a little bit nervous about cutting it down, but we'll do it step by step. So if you want to see that, look for the next video, which I think might be 35. But thanks for watching. See you again.